Shalom. Today's prayer comes from the 46th Psalm. God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. So we will not fear when earthquakes come and mountains crumble to the sea. Let the oceans roar and foam, let the mountains tremble as the waters surge. A river brings joy to the city of our God, the sacred home of the Most High. God dwells in that city. It cannot be destroyed. From the very break of day, God will protect it. The nations are in chaos and their kingdoms crumble. God's voice thunders and the earth melts. The Lord of heaven's armies is here among us. The God of Israel is our fortress. Come, see the glorious work of the Lord. See how he brings destruction upon the world. He causes wars to end throughout the earth. He breaks the bow and snaps the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world. The Lord of heaven's armies is here among us. The God of Israel is our fortress. Today it is those words, be still and know that I am God, which invite us to do just that. Be still and dwell in God's presence. And so I invite you to close your eyes while I read you a meditation from the yoga devotion practice, which is a practice of faithful meditation in the Word of God. So as you sit with your eyes closed, take a long, deep breath in with the count of 3. After a brief pause, breathe out with the count of 3. Take a few slow breaths of this to allow yourself to relax and focus your mind. It is good to pause and take a breath in the midst of life's challenges. So imagine an ordinary day. The stars seem to be aligned. Everybody around you is functioning as expected, and every plan is unfolding just as you had hoped. And then the world turns. Not a life or death crisis, perhaps, but one niggling distraction after another that causes you to wonder what is going on. Our human instinct is to respond to each disruption, is to quickly react, making an immediate decision, and try to return to our previous state of homeostasis or balance. Well, that may be our go-to model of operation. The practice of pausing may be more helpful. Throughout the Psalms, we repeatedly encountered challenging situations people faced. They were reminded over and over again in the Hebrew scriptures that God was their refuge and shield. Many such proclamations of the Psalms are followed by the Hebrew word Salah. Some suggest that the term indicated a pause, like a rest in a musical score, possibly in a narrative story set to music. Others believe the expression signified a designated place in the poetry for one to pause, reflect, and consider God's promised presence before acting. Pausing to reflect is difficult for a generation programmed towards doing. We tend to value decisive action, speedy problem solving, and conclusive follow-through. Interestingly, when we do find ourselves able to pause, reflect, and trust God's promised presence, We may see paths through our dilemmas that might not otherwise have occurred to us. Hitting the pause button is a discipline that involves stopping, connecting with our breath, being intentionally silent for a moment, and recognizing that our now doesn't have to equate our forever. The breath calms our reactive system and gives focus to our overactive, solution-oriented minds. Taking a break, pausing to reflect and remember God's promised protection is a faithful practice that serves us daily. So you are invited, you are permitted today to pause and take a break. Dwell in the holy presence of God through the practice of doing nothing.